opportunity. We're doing 5 nights over 5 months, and they won't all be as terrifying as tonight. I would like to let you know that tonight is going to be a Halloween-themed night. Some of the tales that we've got for you are classical tales. You might know some of them. Some of them we've taken, tales you know, we've twisted them with our warped minds, created new, marvellous, terrible things. And then there are a couple that we've invented completely from the dark depths of our own souls. And so we hope that we can share these with you and scare you slightly out of the wits, if possible.
And if anybody faints or laughs, your friends have to remove you because we're not having
We don't have extra help to take out the bodies, so you can take care of that yourselves, that'd be great. And so, to start us off this evening, I give you Mr. Rab Swannock.
Now, we're in the museum, and so I'll start a little bit by talking about history. And people also with the history of Ireland and the great things that have been found archaeological ruins and all the different kind of things. And the landscapes of Ireland, the great hills and the glens and all the history. What a lot of folk forget is that one of the best places to find any history in Ireland is in the bogs of Ireland. Because the bogs of Ireland have been here long before we were here. The bogs have been here for thousands, if not tens of thousands of years. And the bogs expand and they shrink. And when they shrink, you'll find little splinters of flint and Neolithic men used to carve faces or carve wood. Or sometimes the bog swallows things. It'll swallow jewellery from princesses, or swords from battles, or prayer books from monks. And then thousands of years later, the bogs let things go. And the bogs also swallow people. They swallow men and women and children. And some of these poor people slipped of an evening on the bog, were never seen again. And other of these people were dragged to the bog, screaming, and were garroted to death in sacrifice. So the bogs have seen all of Ireland's history, all the good stuff, all the glory, all the wonder, and also seen all the darkness, and all the kind of nasty stuff, and the evil stuff. So the bogs have got it all. And for that reason, a lot of people still think the bogs of Ireland are very, very sacred places, and places that you should respect deeply. And there's other folk who don't give a shit. And this is the story of one of those guys, and his name was Pat Houston. And Pat Houston was a Celtic Tiger kind of guy. He had modest aims in his life. He wanted €1 million. He wanted to own his own island in the Caribbean. That's all he wanted. And Pat had a job. He was known as Pat the Fixer. And Pat was a guy you went to if you wanted to get a housing deal done or speak to a politician or whatever. You went to Pat the Fixer. And Pat the Fixer, Mr. Houston, Pat Houston, Pat the Fixer, he lived in the middle of Ireland. A little town in the middle of Ireland. He had a little office there. And one day he got a phone call. And he picks up, "Hello, it's Pat Houston, Pat the Fixer." And the voice still says, "Hello there, this is Huxley Baxter from Texas." This is my American accent. There's Americans in the audience, they may help me with this later. "This is Huxley Baxter from America, from Texas, and I hear you're a fixer." "Of course I am." "Well, I'll tell you what it is. I am Irish as well as American. My great-great-great-great-grandparents came over from Ireland to America. They were dirt poor, but they worked themselves. They became very rich, and now I'm a billionaire. And my dream is to come back to Ireland. And I'm going to buy myself a big castle slap in the middle of Ireland, and I'm going to do things. I'm going to recreate the heritage of Ireland with my money." And Pat's like, "That's grand, but I need a favour. Because I've got myself a castle, I've bought it already, but the problem is, beside the castle, there is a bog. And that bog, I have plans for that bog. There's things I'm going to do with that bog, but unfortunately, it's been classed a nature conservation site. Now, Pat, if you're a fixer, I want you to fix that problem. I want that bog. What can we do?" And Pat, without blinking, says, "Grand, I can sort it. Just send me a large bundle of money and some brown envelopes, and I'll be sorted." And so, the next day, a large bundle of money and brown envelopes were sent, and Pat the Fixer fixed it. Within 6 months, this nature conservation site, Bog Rail Heritage Place, was now a wasteland designated for development. And sure, Huxley Baxter bought it. And it had his castle and it had his bog. And he moved over to Ireland. And he settled in his castle and he went round all the people, around the bog, and he was hiring up labourers. And they were going to work on the bog. And he had a big party and invited everybody there to tell them what he was going to do in the bog. And everybody had a great time. And Huxley Baxter told them what he was going to do. He said, that bog there, I have a plan for that bog. We're going to drain it, we're going to cut it up, we're going to clear it, and we're going to get the hell out of here because that bog is in the way of my plans. I'm going to build us a famine village there. I'm going to build a big 21-story flat there, and people can live in it at the top. There's going to be an observation deck, and you can see where the famine ships went. It's going to be fantastic, but for that goddamn bog. And everybody at the party turned and walked away. They were so disgusted. Monday. On the Monday, Pat Houston arrived. He was to oversee the work. And he went to the great castle where your man Huxley Baxter lived. And he checked the door, and Huxley opened the door and he said, Pat Houston, we have a problem. And Pat said, what is the problem? He said, everybody here has just turned their backs and left, and nobody is working on my site. Can you sort it? And Pat said, of course. He got his mobile phone. Within 20 minutes, he had 30 undocumented workers from Asia and he said to Huxley, I've got the workers, they'll be arriving here first thing tomorrow on a big bus. The stables at the back of the castle, we can turn into the living space for them, it'll be grand. And Huxley was impressed. Oh wow, and what are we paying them? We're feeding them. And so, Pat came to the castle. And Huxley was so impressed with this, he said, Pat, you have to stake my castle. And I'm going to give you a room there, up the back there, the south wing. And I'm going to live in the north wing. You can have your own place, and our windows look over the bar. And you can stay there until this job is done, free. And I'll feed you and everything. And so, Pat was very impressed with this. He moved in. And that evening, he went to bed. In this lovely big chamber, big bed that glowed on fire. And he cooled down the bed, and he pulled the duvet up, and he was lying there and he was sleeping. And he was thinking about how fantastic he was, how he'd sorted so many problems, and how he was going to become a millionaire, and he was just feeling so good with life. And he was lying there, sleeping. And he slept the contented way the Celtic tiger sleeps. Very deeply, very happy. And he was drifting away, and he was kind of floating into his dreams like an eider down feather in a little breeze, and falling deeper and deeper into his dreams. And then, deep in his dreams, he heard a noise. And it was like singing. It was like a lament, very, very softly and gently. It was very sorrowful. And he could almost feel tears come to his eyes. And this lament was going on and on. He couldn't quite capture the words. They were going up and down. And he was feeling himself drawn into the lament. And then he drew opened his eyes. And he saw a woman standing there. And she was moving. And she was very thin. And she was wearing a kind of pale, translucent gown. I could see the shape of her. Yes. And she was coming towards him. He was hearing the music. And he was feeling himself get drawn closer and closer and closer to him. And then she reached out and she touched him. But her hands, they were cold and they were slimy and they were wet and they touched all over poor Pat's body, and Pat went, ah! And he woke up. And he found himself halfway across the bedroom, out the bed, standing on the floor, naked. And he was covered in wet sweat, cold sweat. And he was like, oh my God, what happened there? And he looked around, he got a bad drink, he stoked up the fire, and he put on some clothes, and he sat there until the morning came.